help you to specify, I mean that one. Okay? So let's do it. Don't worry about writing this, guys. I'm serious. Okay, but the example I do want you to write, so start by writing this. If f prime of x is 4x plus 2.
Wait, so this is like solving for C.
Exactly. Okay, but in order to do that, you're going to have to be given some information to specify what C is. So let's say that f prime of x is 4x plus 2. Okay, let's start with an easy one. And they're also going to tell you this other piece of information. They're going to tell you that f of 2 is equal to 8. They're going to give you some information about the antiderivative so that you can use it to figure out C. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be fun. It's not going to be hard. Okay? And then they're going to say, all right, find regular f of x. You got f prime. You know if you take its antiderivative, you can come close to finding it, but you're going to have that plus C. But given this other piece of information, that f of 2 is 8, we can solve for C. It's just one little extra step after anti-differentiating. Integrating. Okay? Do people copy down the example?
Yeah.
Okay, it's on the next slide anyway, so don't stress out. Okay, there's the same information. Okay, so one more time, let me just explain again, make sure it's all inside everybody's noggins. Okay, if you're given some derivative here, 4x plus 2 is the first derivative of plain old f. They also tell you that for plain old f, when x is 2, y is 8. Okay, so given that information, we should be able to solve for C. People starting to see ahead in what we're going to get with this? All right, so for starters, we're looking for f. Okay, and we have f prime. So what do you think the first step is to do?
F of x is equal to something. Find the integral.
Right, we're going to have to find the integral first to find plain old f as opposed to f prime. So what is the integral of 4x plus 2? So write that down, then we'll do it. Shouldn't be too difficult. In fact, why don't you write it down and do the next step of doing it. I'll give you 30 seconds while I make sure that Rita is actually doing something.
Damn.
Hello. What? Oh, Wilmer.
Yeah.
Oh, Wilmer. Wilmer. Oh, wait.
Oh, I saw it. Just kidding.
Aisha, I dare you to swear back now.
So, no.
Why not?
Because I didn't get into it.
You're not going to get into it, boy. He's not even in here. It's not like we're recording or anything.
Yeah, we are.
I hope you place that
All right, what is the integral of 4x, Wally?
What?
What is the integral of 4x, Any?
It's 2x to the second.
You didn't give me a chance to answer.
Is it 2x squared, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then what's the integral of 2?
2x.
Okay, and then we have our plus c. Okay, shh. I'm getting tired of that. Like I'm getting tired of it.
I just found something
It's a
like.
good way to
When I say I'm tired of it, you say I won't do it anymore.
Yeah? You said jump, you say how high.
Wait, is that supposed to be a capital?
No, it's a plain old f, right? Because we went from f prime up 1, that goes to regular f. Right, because it's an antiderivative from the original
I have a
derivative.
question. What does that f2 equals 8? What is that?
So Annie, that's an excellent question. What does f of 2 equal 8 means? That means for this function, if we plug in x equals 2, the answer is supposed to be 8. Okay? So now that we have that piece of information, we can use that to solve for c by plugging in the 2 for x and the 8 for f of x, and then solving for c. Feel me? Do it. One more time. One more time. Oh, you already did it? You guys are ballers. Okay, so those of you who are ahead of the game or whatever, everybody, let's pay attention to this because I put some time into this graph. It's nice. Okay, this is actually the graph of 2x squared plus 2x, what you're looking at right now. Everybody good on that so far? You're not texting in my class right now, are you? Okay, put your bag on the floor before I take your phone away. Hey, you forget who I am.
I didn't forget.
Well, you took a risk you knew you shouldn't take. Okay. 2x squared plus 2x plus c. That's the graph of just 2x squared plus 2x. So this is the graph when c equals 0. Okay? Here's the graph when c equals 2. Here's the graph when c equals -2. Okay, right? There's a bunch of different graphs, all of which whose derivatives are 4x plus 2. This is the same example I was saying before, right? Okay, now I can make c whatever I want, but because we're given this fact that f of 2 is 8, okay, I know that my graph has to pass between the point where f of 2 is equal to 8, and that looks like that does, but it's a little bit off. I don't know if you can tell. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, if I find the perfect graph, which happens to be this one, it will go right through that point. And so by giving us one point, 2, 8, essentially, okay, we're told which of the many different parabolas they're specifying. Does that make sense? It's the one that goes through that point. Can you feel that? Okay. Now, so how do we do that? We plug in the 2 for x, we plug in the 8 for f of x, and we solve. Okay, so I took all the x's, I replaced them with 2's. I took this f of x, I replaced it with 8. Everybody, what's 2 times 2 squared? 8. What's 2 times 2? 4. So what goes on this whole side? 12. All right, and then so what c is what? -4, because we got the 8 on the other side. Okay. Pretty good on that? All right, so now, is that the answer? What is the question asking for? Plain old f of x. So we have to take our f of x we have here and plug in the c we found, so the answer is that. Does that make sense, guys? We're going to do one more example together, and then I'm going to drill you.
Then you're going to have a break.
You have a what?
Break.
We were going to take a break, though, just like 5 seconds ago.
Whatever.
You can check your recording if you don't believe me. Actually, you don't want to check your recording.
All right. Did I move that off the screen too quickly? Is everybody good? All right. So let's do another example together. We'll do this like half together, and then I'll give you one all on your own. All right. So write this down. If plain old f of x is root x cubed plus 2, at least it's an iPod Touch, not a phone.
Slow motion.
Right. Shh.
Choose life in slow motion.
It's the same thing that we did before. This is like the derivative, and this is like the big one. Okay? So big F is the antiderivative of regular F. No. Yeah, that's a big F. That means the antiderivative of regular F. Oh. All right, so if you want to jolt ahead, you can jolt ahead as long as you don't talk. But for those of you who want to go with me, let's go with me. Let's start by rewriting the original function so we can integrate it. We need to integrate it. Okay? So how can I rewrite that? What's x cubed? What's the square root of x cubed in exponential form? X to the what? Yeah, I got the root, so that gives me the half up there, and I got the 3 up top, so that looks like that. We comfy? People with me? Who said no? Somebody say no? Thought I heard a no. Okay. Okay, so we integrate. So let's go ahead and do that. What's 3 halves plus 1?
Yeah. Oh,
5 halves, right? Okay, so we're going to have that 5 halves, and then we have to divide by 5 halves, the same as multiplying by what, Wally?
What?
2/5. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, what's the integral of 2, everybody? 2x, okay, and then what else? Plus c. Okay, now you guys go ahead, and I'm going to rewrite it for you. Okay, go ahead and solve for c. I'll give you 30 more seconds. Yeah.
Where is 0 to the
To the anything.
0.
Yeah, I wonder what 0 to the 0 is. Anybody know?
1.
no, it's underlined. That's not fine.
Really?
1. 1.
I don't know the answer. It's a good question.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
I do. My best friend, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's lying.
What does it say?
Look.
Marina, 0 to the 0.
It's 1.
Put 0 to the 0 there.
He's
Yeah.
lying. He's lying.
You just typed in 1. I can see that. All right.
It says domain. Error domain.
Oh, okay. Okay. So anybody done with this? This one's actually really easy, right? Because all the x's, if you put a 0 in, it all drops out, right?
Yeah.
And so you're left with c is equal to...
Three.
Right. You did it backwards. Okay. So what's the final answer? F of x, or big F of x is 2/5 times the square root of x to the 5th plus 2x plus 3. Yeah.
Since we're finding the antiderivative, that means there won't ever be anything without an x that becomes c. So if it's
Wrong. I like what you're thinking, but no.
no,
No. Because what about sine, right? Or cosine? Cosine of 0 is 1. So what John's instinct was, if I can just go ahead and do the shortcut that if there's a 0 here, then I know that c is 3 because everything's going to drop out like it did right here, right? Can anybody say, at the high level see that? Okay, that's not correct because if there's something like cosine involved or e to the x, right? Both of those, when you apply 0, are 1, and that would not be a situation where.
but if the regular of that,
Yeah, if it's all polynomials, you're good to go. Yeah. In a second. Yes.
Will you ever have to find the antiderivative, like the second derivative?
Sure. That's good. I'll put on the homework. Yes.
Didn't we solve for little f of x in the last one?
Yeah, but we started with f prime. So as long as you're going up, you know what I mean?
But we started with little f of x here.
Right. But now we're going to big F. So as long as you can think of it like this.
Can you like write it in order?
Yeah. So here's big F, little f, f prime, f double prime, right?
Okay.
This is all derivatives going down and integrals going up.
Okay.
Does that make sense? If you want to write that down, that's not a bad thing to have around. This is derivatives.
I don't know what
This is
what
it.
is big F? Big F is the
It's kind of lame that I'm doing this to you because I haven't explained what the heck the integral means, right? So I can't explain to you what big F's function is relative to f. Okay, all you need to know is that the derivative of big F is f. So it's a function whose derivative is regular f. Okay? Yeah,
Is there something bigger than big F?
that's a good point. Yeah,
Capital.
really big F.
G.
No, I don't know.
Gangster.
Okay. All right. So go ahead. Do this. Do one more on your own. I want you to practice one more on your own. And who has to go to the bathroom? Wilmy, you can go to the bathroom right at
Go
time.
after.
No. Y'all need to calm down. I've been have to go to the bathroom. Can I go after mommy?
Wilmy's going right now.
Can I go after?
The men's bathroom.
Nope. Okay.
It's false though.
All right. Let's do this together. Everyone, be quiet, please. Shh. Step 1 is to do what?
Quiet.
Shh, guys, I'm serious. Be quiet. I'm gonna freak. Find the integral. So we're gonna find the integral of the thing that needs integrating, which is that. What's the integral of 6x squared? Everybody?
2x cubed.
All right. Hang on a second.
2x cubed.
What's the integral of 8x? We take the x to the 1, make it x squared, and divide by the 2. That gives us 4. And the integral of 1 is what? 1x or just x. Okay, plus c, of course. Okay, this is a good type of problem to train you not to forget your plus c's, right? Because if you forget a plus c, and you get a little bit later in this problem, there's nothing to solve for, right? So you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm an idiot. Which some of us must say all the time. Okay. All right. So I felt like rewriting that because I'm just in the mood. You don't have to write it twice. All right. Oh, sorry. The next step. Now I'm looking for C, right? Trying to find out what C is. So I take this stuff and plug it in. Which one of these numbers goes into X? Shout it out.
-1.
And this goes in for f of X, right on the left side here. Okay? That's for you. Okay, plug them in. Now let's be careful about our negatives, right? What is 2 times -1 cubed? And just that, not negative.
-2.
Is it positive 2 or negative 2?
Negative 2.
Because negative numbers cubed are still negative, right? What about the next one? What about -1 squared? Right, and the last one is still -1, right? So overall, this whole right side becomes what plus C?
1.
And so C is,
2.
and the answer is
Plus 2.
this whole thing. If you don't write the whole answer out, hey, guys, it's getting ridiculous.